Hi, I'm Tina. I'm an alcoholic. I've been through the process with the Big Book Step Study sponsor, God I found through my writing, and practiced a lot of steps to the best of my ability. Well, first of all, I'm very vulnerable. I really don't want to speak today. I told Jackie before I didn't want to do it. I thought that I was coming in to speak on a different step, and I never asked what I am. But because I'm so vulnerable in my life right now, I want to control so that I'll feel better and I'll feel safe. With that being said, this is what my vulnerability looks like lately. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. And what I learned, because I'm a real good alcoholic, I don't want to feel, I'd rather shut down, stay home and isolate. And it has to do with what's happening in my life. It's not a bad thing. It's a new thing. It's some heavier work. And with this work comes the understanding for me where my survival skills come in. I want to protect myself, and I don't want to share myself. Okay, so I'm in the right place. Like, I know I'm in the right place. I won't leave here and think, oh, look what I said. I shouldn't have said that. That's how I am today. And because this chapter, there is a solution, okay, I can sit here today because I have one. I have one. And a lot of people, you know, with this solution, our friends that I have will say, why do you go to those meetings? You don't have to do that work. You don't, okay? This chapter alone, let me time myself. Well, that's for me, I gotta go. Really, you don't even know. So this chapter alone talks about returning me to sanity, a recovered state of mind and body, right? When I got here, I didn't understand that this disease is in my mind. It's unmanageability. I can't manage my brain on my own. I need a psychic change, which if you told me that early on, I wouldn't have any, what are you talking about? If you said the word, well, you did, okay? To me, when I walked into AA, this is spiritual kindergarten for me. Having to find a power greater than myself, nah. Having to have a psychic change. The only thing I know about a psychic is that you go to somebody and they tell you the future, right? And that's true. Before I got to AA, okay, the previous steps talk about, and this one too has a lot of 1 and 2 and denial and things in it. I remember I was 20-something years old, maybe 24. I got here when I was 36. Okay, I didn't know I was a true alcoholic. I just thought I had a problem. And how can I fix this problem? So I went to, it used to be the Lincoln Hotel on Lincoln Street. I don't know what it was called then, probably that, I don't know. And they had this crystal show, okay? And it really makes me sad now that I'm recovering some deeper levels of who I am and what brings me to this vulnerable place today as we speak. I went and talked to a woman, my daughter was 2, in my hand. And I told her, I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I really believed this woman was going to put this crystal on me and make me better. And her words to me were, I cannot help you. I can't help you. And I thought, wow, she can't even help me, right? She's a psychic. I had no idea when I walked into this room what I was getting into, first of all. Okay, so when it comes to there's a solution, they tell a lot about drinking and, you know, how to find God. Now, I know the solution is through the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I didn't know that and what that entailed when I got here. I'm the person, okay, and I believe they're talking about 3-stage alcoholics when you come in here. I'm the person in the previous step when this young kid was up here a couple of weeks ago. He was freaking tremendous. Tremendous. I can't remember what I had for breakfast. He was on the money. And in that chapter talks about we have an irritable disposition. Me. This chapter talks, and I can't find where it said, a nervousness at the right time, right? At the right time, what do? I pick up a drink. When something urgent's coming my way, and something's coming down the pike, or, I got to go to a party, or I got to go to a graduation, I got to go to a funeral, right away. I need something to calm my nerves, okay? This talks about my pathway to recovery has to be a spiritual experience, a spiritual awakening. How does one do that? So when I first came across the willingness, open-mindedness, what they talk about in the step to be restored to sanity, I tried to find God first when I came here. It talks about the fellowship, like we wouldn't mix, and how I love that. Because I love so many people in here. If I saw you on the street, there could have been a lot of judgment. Now, let me guarantee you there would have been a lot of judgment. So, you know, in the beginning, the fellowship really helped me. The fellowship made me feel like I belonged. And not everybody did. Because when I got here, I was in a lot of denial. They talk about denial in here, too. But there were certain people that gave me some hope. And this gives me some hope, too. This chapter gives me some hope. You know, they would say things like, where I first got sober, and that was on Pearl Street. And there are a lot of old-timers, and matter of fact, Jack's here today. I'm going to tell a story about Jack. When I first got in here, I was eye-looking on all the guys, because I thought to myself, shit, these guys, they look so awake, and their skin is so nice. And there's only a couple of handsome. I'm picky. There's only really, and I eyed on Jack. Now, Jack just turned 70. He had to be in his early 30s, right, Jack? And I thought, oh my God, what blue eyes. So maybe I stayed at the meeting because of you. Who knows? God works in mysterious ways, let me tell you. But where I would go, they would say, believe because I believe. And I thought, that sounds good, right? Believe because I believe. And a couple of them that were talking to me, I love them, so, especially, here we go. Shit. Buttons Bob. I loved him. I know today the reason I cry when I tell you his name. Because he was like the father I never had. He was so loving and so gracious to me that I believed what he said. When I used to say, could you just make me feel better? He said, honey, I can't make you feel better. God can make you feel better. You just have to believe that. He never said trust. He didn't say that. He didn't go there with me. And this is why I didn't want to share. This is a perfect example. Because this is where I'm at. And then I heard a young guy tell me, I don't know how. Well, he probably seemed young. I don't know, maybe he was. Or maybe he was handsome and I just didn't even listen to anything but look at him. Yeah, I got a problem with that. He told me about, he went ahead a little, he said, if you come to believe in a power greater than yourself, will restore your sanity. He said, I know how I think about that. And I was a wise guy back then. My answer was, yeah, tell me, whatever. And he said, you know when people look out, and I don't know, my mother never did this to me. We were out and the street lights turned dark. You came home. She wasn't looking for me. My mother was too busy cleaning the house because that's her thing. And he said, well, when there's a young child in the yard, right, somebody's watching them. And I thought, yeah. He said, and if you come to believe in a power greater yourself that will restore you to sanity, that God does the same thing. That God does the same thing. He's watching over you. And I thought, pretty good. So people really had to kind of flip the spiritual angle a little to me because I didn't know how to believe. The God that I had, he's up on a cross and he's pointing the finger down on me. And I already know I'm bad when I get here. I know I'm bad. And for a long time in this program, I still used to say, which I'm trying not to, well, that's different because she's a good girl. I could tell she was a good girl. She had a drinking problem. But I'm a bad girl with a drinking problem. It makes it twice as worse to have any faith that anything could restore me to any sanity, which I really wasn't insane. I didn't understand the exact nature of my disease at the time. So for a long time in here, I would come in thinking, trying to find God with my head instead of my heart. For the longest time, I wasn't even hearing, like I heard steps. I was too fixated on how am I even going to do that. So I tried all kinds of things. And as it talks about in the next step, and as you progress on and really know your illness, how your thoughts and your actions and all that prior comes to light, it made more sense to me because I now have found God. God is in my heart, not in my head, but I have to follow through with the solution it talks about. Like I can go to meetings, have a lot of friends, I can do this, I can do that, but I got to level my pride. Me, I'm not prideful. You just saw it. Okay, that's as leveled as I'm getting. To be able to, especially somebody like me who likes a good front, don't get too close, don't touch, don't see, hello, see you later. That's what I live by. So the solution for me and the program of action, how's it laid out, it tells us we have some clear-cut instructions coming ahead, right? But I have to be willing to even want to be able to do that work. The good thing for me is when I got here, I was desperate, very desperate. And I did tons of meetings and all that they tell you to do. And now look at what I'm going to say. This is so funny. I was a good girl in AA in my early years with the sponsor that I had. I did everything that I was told to do, okay? And I did the work, but it's really funny. I didn't do the work as thorough as I did it here. So I really can tell you now, my spiritual experience was off the charts, or it says in here, fourth dimension, than before. But I didn't know that. So let's see. When I was reading this, I was reading nothing. It was like Charlie Brown was reading all of you. Wah, 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 which it is most of the time with my brain. And like I said, I was prepared to do another step. And I used to have a friend who used to tell me, Tina, when you get up to speak, it's not a performance, honey. And she was from New York and she had that accent. It's not a performance. It's your experience. You know, so that gets me off the hook today, too, because I really want to be perfect and tell you this down to a T, and you go, she was something else, wasn't she? Just too much to take, that girl. But let's see. Oh, here it was. He has a positive genius for getting tight at the exactly wrong moment, particularly when some important decision must be made or engagement kept. So as I said, that's the type of person I am. When this was read to me in the beginning, it didn't really make too much sense to me. If I just cut it down in a real short little thing for myself today, if someone comes up to me, what is the solution? My solution today, as I sit right here and not like go through the books looking for every word, my defense has to come from a power greater than myself. How is that achieved for me? It's achieved by coming to AA, getting involved in the fellowship, getting out of myself. The solution for me today was to do service work. It's really not that hard. I make it hard because I have a bad brain. My sponsor always tells me, Tina, you cannot fix a broken brain with a broken brain, because I think I can figure things out. And the reason why I think I can figure things out, and it will tell me in the next chapter, is I like control. I like to be self-sufficient. I like to get things done. I know how to do it. Trust me. Trust me. And I can't get there, okay, until I believe that something outside of myself can help me. So people in this program gave me hope. You got to do the work. You got to give it away to keep it. That's the AA slogan. It doesn't say it in our book, but that's the lingo that we use. So as much as I did not want to come and share, and let me tell you, I did not want to. I was up all night obsessing. I don't want to. Stuck in self for other reasons. I have a foot injury that's not getting better. It's not. And I got something to do with it, but I want to blame the doctors, because they should have told me a long time ago. Okay? So that's creating a tremendous amount of fear. But because I've done this work, I can sit here today and be vulnerable with you and pray to this God that I found here through other people. And I feel better right now. I feel at peace, because I got to go home and be on the couch till 3 o'clock in the morning, watching Ray Donovan, because that's a real spiritual program to watch. Very spiritual, and The Accountant too, okay? So I'm just glad that I came, because I really wanted to lie, because I'm good at that. I'm a fibber. I should have a necklace. I fib. Actually, I should have one made, because I like that. So thank you for all being here for me. Thank you.